Okay, I just want to tell you how proud I am of you. I am so glad you made it. This is week 2. Now, however sloppy or messy or maybe disappointing last week was, or maybe you rocked it, wherever you are on that whole spectrum, I want you just to be proud of yourself. I want you to put your hand right on your chest and just breathe into that and have compassion on yourself. I want you to keep going. This is not an easy task. And I bet now you're like, oh, I know what you were saying last week, Coral. Like, this isn't easy, but it is so worth it. It's so worth it. Starting and just keeping going and not stop, keeping going, keep going, don't stop. And you are going to be so grateful that you are. Okay. So I want to coach you a little bit this week and on some key elements and some key principles that I feel will really, really help you. Now, you are completely normal if right now you are feeling like overwhelmed, or you're feeling like maybe I can't do this, or like maybe this isn't for me, or all these different excuses in your head, or maybe it's like a certain time of the year that's extra hard for you. I want to like promise you and like give you all the encouragement that you can do it. It's worth it. There is always going to be holidays. There's always going to be vacations. There's always going to be all of these things that are kind of try to be our roadblocks to stop us from progressing, especially in something this great and this intense. So keep going. You're normal if you're having feelings of overwhelm. I'm going to help you work through those feelings today. So, but before I dive into coaching on those feelings, I just want you just to think about, assess about, not obsess about, but assess about how it went last week. Maybe jot some things down. And this is where when I do one-on-one coaching and when I do group coaching and different things like that, I want you to physically write down some things. Okay. So I'm going to tell you what you're going to write down. So maybe go pause this, go get a pen and paper, and then come back. Okay. So what I want you to do is I want you to write 3 different things on your paper. And one is going to be a rose and leave a few lines. The second line is going to be thorns and leave a few lines. And the last thing I want you to write are seeds and leave a few lines. Now, this principle, this like assignment right here is going to elevate you. It's going to help you to keep going when it gets hard. So what I want you to do, where it says roses or rose, whatever if there's plural, that's fabulous. But I want you to write down what went well last week. Whether it's you started feeling a little bit better, maybe your joints didn't hurt as much, or like whatever it is, like I found new recipes, or I tried some of your recipes, they actually tasted good, or my family joined in on one of my meals, or whatever those roses maybe, or maybe I felt happier, or I wasn't as depressed, or maybe I went to the bathroom regularly. Like we could come up with a lot of different roses. So I want you to write your rose for the week or roses. And then I want you to write your thorns. Now, your thorns are the things that are really, really hard. Like maybe you're like going through chocolate withdrawals right now. Maybe you're like, it took me forever to figure out my safe foods. Or maybe it was my family was not on board. Or, okay, just think about all the different, like the things that were super hard. I want you to write that. And maybe it's a thorn, or maybe it's thorns. Maybe it's plural. Okay. You could pause this if you need more time. Now, then in the seeds area is what I want you to leave blank for right now. And as we go throughout this coaching call right now, I want you to think about the things that you can do and implement this week to make it better, right? We're not expecting perfection here. We're not expecting you to be like, after 1 week being like, you've mastered this in 3 years, right? Like, no, you're a weekend. So there are definitely some seeds you can plant. Now, whether it's finding new recipes or what, this is your task. These are your to-dos or your mental like things that you're going to work on. And it could be emotional, it could be mental, and it could be physical, like what actually you're doing. Those are the seeds area. So I want you to really get clear on what you need to do for you, because this whole process is for you. It's not for me. It's not for your family. It's for you. It's so that you can put that gas mask on first, right? Like the analogy that we all hear a million times in the airlines, like you put on your mask first and then you go to save your child's, right? This is your gas mask. These are the seeds for you that you're going to plant so you can bloom better. Okay. So I love doing this assignment because this really gets clear. And I do it for my work. I do it for mentally. I do it for a lot of different things. Okay. So you can use this in all areas of life, but right now we're going to do it with our healthy challenge or the anti-inflammatory protocol. So getting really clear in that aspect is going to help you so much. Okay. So now I want to coach you on something that is really actually dear to my heart. And it's something I learned quite a few years ago through my personal coach, my life coach, Jamie Andelin, which she's incredible. And she helped me write and publish my book, No Matter What. And that has to do with my divorce. But we are going, it's very, very, and she happens to be a celiac too. So it's very applicable to our gut related peeps. Okay. So what I want to talk about is the way we digest food. Stay with me here. The way we digest food. I'm going to pull up a few notes because I want to share this exactly how it's intended to be and not like on the fly, just improvising. Okay. So the way we digest food, we allow food in our mouths. We choose what food is going to go in our mouths. 99% of the time, right? Nobody's like, unless you're spoon feeding your child, right? But we're the ones that are in charge of putting the food in their mouths. So we allow it in. And then once it's allowed in, our body goes into full work mode. It's incredible. Our body knows how to digest food, right? For the most part, celiac disease and different ailments, right, can hinder that. But for the most part, our body is knowing what to do, whether it goes through which pipe it goes through, right? If it's liquid or if it's solid, like our bodies are brilliant, right? And then what happens is it comes down and then it goes into our intestines, and well, first our stomach, and then, the acid, blah, 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 right? Breaking it down. And our gallbladders hopefully functioning. And then it goes into our small intestines, and we have little villi in our small intestines who's taking all the nutrients, right? Again, on a healthy person, those with celiac disease and have damaged villi, hopefully they're growing back soon. So that way we can function a little bit better. But our body takes the nutrients that it needs and it filters throughout our body. And puts it into our bloodstream. Like, it is amazing. So our body knows how to get what it needs from the food. And then what happens to the rest of it? We expel it through, whether it's pee, right? Where it's urine, whether it's poo, whether it's our feces, whether it's sweat, right? Our body learns how to expel this food. Isn't that incredible? So again, we see food, we allow it in, our body works and knows how to, get all the nutrients out of it, and the excess waste is expelled. That's pretty incredible. Wouldn't you agree? Now, just what if we can take that same principle, that same process, and digest our emotions in that same way? I bet you this past week, you have had emotions like, or thoughts in your head or whatever, that's like, this is too hard. Maybe this doesn't work. Maybe I should try something else. Maybe I should take a pill. Maybe, right? Like, that's like what the world's telling us. Like, maybe we should do it a different way, or maybe we should do it later. Like, right now it's too busy and it's too hard, and my family doesn't support this, and all the excuses in the world, right? So what if we digest our emotions like we did the food? So we allow it in, because, right, we're hearing it. We allow it in. We get what we need from those thoughts and those emotions, and then we release the rest. We expel the rest. Are you following me? Do you get how important this is? You're going to hear stuff. Thoughts are going to come. You're going to be like, you're going to have really hard moments. Allow them in, see what you need from that. Like, oh yeah, it is hard. Yeah, okay, my family isn't on board. Or, okay, yeah, I do need to like learn what to eat so I can function a little bit better. And like, oh yeah, it is a harder time. But you know what? Next month, it's not going to be easier. And then you just release whatever emotions you're ready to release. Like, okay, I'm just going to free myself. Yeah, it's hard. I know. Okay, let's move on, right? Release yourself from that pressure, from that like, oh, I got to do it. This is the worst thing ever. It's so hard. Release those thoughts. Take what yeah, it's hard. Okay. And now bye. Bye hard. We're going to make it better. We're going to make it easier. This is like the very principle that's going to help you stick through it for these next weeks and months as you introduce new foods and all of that. Allowing, like, it's going to come into your mind. Your thoughts are going to just take over in some points, but learning how to digest your emotions like you do your food is going to be second nature after you practice this a few times or several times or several months. But that's going to help you in all areas of life. It's not just in this anti-inflammatory protocol, healthy challenge. This is forever. I practice this still to this day. And even as I'm saying it right here and right now, I'm thinking of different areas where I can use this right now in my life where things feel too complicated. So allowing these emotions and everything to come in and then release. The parts that you don't need, the excess waste, you let go. Doesn't that sound so freeing? Now, here's another fun little visual analogy that I love to use and coach on. And that is waves of emotions are like waves of the ocean. Okay, so think of an ocean. I don't know, maybe you just see it online or, on shows and movies. I grew up in Southern California, so the ocean has a really big place in my heart. But you think about it like a wave just like crashing down. You're like, whoa, what happens after that wave crashes? The water gets calm. Maybe another one comes and then it calms. And then another one comes and it calms. And sometimes it's more sporadic. And sometimes it's like frequent. Sometimes, there's big waves, there's little waves, there's tidal waves, there's monsoons. There's like so many different types of waves, right? And that is like how emotions or different hard times come. So again, this isn't easy. This is why I coach on this. That's why I'm not just like giving you the like protocol and being like, good luck, peace out. Hey, that's what happened to me. I don't want to do that for you. I want to help you succeed. I've given you the tools that will help you succeed in this manner. And it's up to you to get the most value out of it. These coaching calls are going to help you in so many ways. So some days in life just seem like a full-on tidal wave. And if you have ever been caught in a wave and you've been like torn under, right? And you're like tumbling, and you're like, if this has ever happened to you, you totally understand. You get like the undertow and you're like, you don't even know what's up, to be honest. It's like, I don't know what's up. And it's like the most scariest feeling ever. That's sometimes how life can feel. That's sometimes how our health can feel. That's sometimes how doing some new program like this one can make you feel like, I don't even know what's up. Like last week was a complete disaster. I didn't know what to eat. I ate the wrong things. Like I ate stuff that was on the list and I shouldn't be able to eat and I ate it and all of this, right? We might think it's just too much, but I want to assure you that you can do this. You can get up from this. I can help you understand what is up in all sense of the words. So as we do this, right, we might feel like a huge wave, right? And then it's like, and then right when you come up for air, you're like, and then there's another wave that crashes you down, right? That's a real thing too. Waves of emotions are like waves of the ocean. Now, all day and all night, it's not very likely that the waves are huge and crashing, right? They get smaller, they get bigger, different seasons are bigger and some seasons are smaller. And that's how our emotions are. But the thing is you're not constantly in this huge tidal wave. A tidal wave doesn't stay a tidal wave for very long. It might build up, it might get a little bigger, but it will always come down. These things that you're going through, your health challenges, the reasons why you're even showing up and doing this in the first place, your emotions are like waves of the ocean. So when it seems too big, know that this is just for a time. You're going to get through this. And, as you learn how to ride the waves, right? So you might still have these waves, but maybe you're on a boogie board and you're like, okay, I'm riding this boogie board out. And I'm like, first you paddle out and it's so much work. And then you're like on the boogie board and you're like, actually catch it a little bit. And then it goes away. You're like, oh, okay, I almost caught it. And then you move on and you progress and you're like, I'm going to try to surf. I'm going to try to stand on this wave and ride this wave out. That's the point I want to get you at, where the waves are going to come. These emotions are going to come. And you're going to say, I'm going to stand on this wave instead. I'm going to stand up and I'm going to ride this wave out. And that is going to feel incredible. Hard times, emotions, our health, like all of these things are going to come. And this is what I want you to get after this week. Like, I want you to really focus on your emotions. So remember at the beginning, I had you write down a rose and what was good this last week. And it may be just like one little thing. And we're going to celebrate that one little thing. And then we have our thorn or our thorns. And then we have our seeds. I want you to think about the things that you can plant this week to help you for the rest of this journey, but then also forever. What is it that you need to work on? What thoughts or emotions can you work on? What seeds can you plant to be better? And again, it could be mentally, it could be emotionally, it could be physically. Like, what do I need to do? Do I need to get more groceries? Do I need to go to the store twice a week instead of just once? Excuse me. I want you to write the things that will help you show up better this week. And when we have our coaching call, for those of you who are doing it live with me, or if you're going to be watching the replay, however you're going to be doing this, I want you to dial in and see how others are capturing their visions. Thanks for tuning in today. I'm really excited to see where you go with this and how you can learn to stand up on that board and ride out these hard waves and actually even enjoy this process. So, okay, I'm going to sign off here for week 2, and I'm so proud of you. Thanks for showing up. Thanks for tuning in. I know like life is busy and you're like, oh, I don't have time. Make time for these. This is part of the experience. This is part of the program that is going to help you get to exactly where you need to be. And on that note, I love you and I'm so proud of you, and reach out if you need anything.